welcome to Teens Are Talking. I'm Shantae Campbell, your host, and I'm here with a great group of teens again. And we're here at the Maryland Women's Heritage Center, a lovely place. And we've got a great show for you today, so stay with us. Alright, welcome to Teens Are Talking. Alright, so let's start with the group of teens we've got today.
My name's Amira. My name's Lynn.
Hi, I'm Marley.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Hi, I'm Grace.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
Alright, so we've got some great clips and some great info. Take a look at these. Alright, that was a great clip. What did you guys think?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Awesome.
Was there any particular exhibits here you guys like?
Go ahead.
I really liked the Wall of History for the women in Maryland because I honestly didn't know that we had so many great women achieving so many things in so many different fields, all from Maryland. It's shocking how many people we have that have made huge dents in history. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Definitely, and there were like all these agricultural scientists, earth scientists, biological scientists. It really inspires me to just like, because I want to be a scientist, so it just really tells me if these women can do it, then I can do it, and it just pushes me towards my goal.
All right, well, we've got some great footage of some really rich, strong scientists up and coming, so have a look at that.
Seven,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have liftoff of NASA's Aqua spacecraft designed to study the Earth's water systems. And everything continues to go well.
Plus 30 seconds.
30 seconds into launch at this time.
Roger.
And she is a project scientist at NASA Goddard. If you could share a little bit about what you're working on.
Well, I have two main categories of work at Goddard, and the first is my own research. And my research I've been doing there since 1978, so a long time. And the research is on examining sea ice in the Arctic and Antarctic using satellite data. The second main task that I have is to be the project scientist of a mission named Aqua that was launched in 2002. I've been project scientist since 1993, so there are 9 years before we even got any data out of it. And it's collecting data about the atmosphere, oceans, land, ice. So lots of different data sets are coming out from that satellite, which has 16 Earth observing instruments.
To work at NASA?
Actually, I grew up loving math. Math was absolutely my favorite subject all the way through school. But I was in college in the late 1960s, and there were a lot of troublesome things happening. Civil rights were clearly not what they should be. The Vietnam War was going on. And even though I was majoring in math and loved math, I felt like it's too abstract. I need to get something that's more concrete. And that's when I switched from math to science.
All right, what about you?
My favorite was the World War II was when the women took action, being in the Air Force, the WAPs, heroines. That was my big inspiration because they took a lot of guys' work, and when the guys come back, they didn't really have much that appreciation of what they did. One of their big inspiration was Rosie the Riveteer. You can do it, and you actually can.
Yeah, a lot of times they don't realize women play a huge part, maybe behind the scenes, but it's all part of working together. If it says it. That was part of our Unsung Hero exhibit. So let's have a look.
They were the daughters of suffragists, the mothers of feminists. 100,000 soldiers, 100,000 women. This is the story of one of them. Although initially critical of the idea of women in the military, when faced with the growing shortage of manpower in Germany and Japan during the early part of World War II, the views of the United States Congress changed.
Cisco and at work, everybody was talking about it. They thought it was so terrible that women were in service and we were all going to get pregnant and be a burden on the taxpayers and all this stuff.
And my farmers always wore bib overalls. My dad put his fingers under his suspenders and said, "Well, let me tell you about my daughter." and they were very proud of me joining the Navy after I joined.
My favorite was the space exhibit because I'm really into space and I think it's a really interesting topic.
All right, speaking of that, we have Dr. Mary Cleave, who's one of our first astronauts, female astronauts. Have a look at this.
Things going on when it comes to careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, and it's really exciting to be able to share some of them with you. This is a very exciting career for kids, any kid, but in particular we'd like to encourage girls to think about being an engineer or a scientist because it's really a fun career. I worked for over 30 years as an engineer, and I can't think of anything I could do that would have been more fun than what I did, and what I'm still doing, in fact. So it's really a great thing to consider. So I'm going to show you some clips. Come on with me on the trip.
That was one of the crew pictures we took that kind of said what everybody was going to do on the mission.
Being led out really by mission specialist Norm Thagard, Mark Lee, Mary Cleave, and the commander and pilot Commander Dave Walker waving, and pilot Ron Graby waving. T-minus 15, 14, 13, and liftoff.
1,000 feet per second. Atlantic 2 miles down.
Brewster and Brian and Murray in the flight deck are preparing for the first of the 2 spacewalks. Three of us, Murray, Woody and myself, dubbed ourselves the Ace Construction Company with the supporting crew of the rest of the crew, and we put up our advertising after we'd completed the construction of the first access truss.
The arm flies wonderfully. It's just such a great tool. Real smooth and no surprises. Being able to interact with them, and they gave me some real good directions while we were up there.
Mary took most of these motion picture Earth views that we've got, and this is one way she did it.
We had a mid-deck experiment called a fluid experiment apparatus, which you can see here. My hands are inside of this. It's a little furnace. We were going indium crystals. It was really an excellent mid-deck for us. We controlled it with our little experiment computer, which worked great, different floppy disks for each experimental run.
Here's Mary at the overhead windows. This is a primary vantage point for Earth observation photography.
Yeah, I sort of shared doing the food cooking duties. Whoever got hungry first seemed to be the person that would end up cooking. But It's actually a lot easier in 0G going up the stairs. In 1G you have to be careful and take the trays one at a time, these bags, before we unpack them. You can see it took up a lot of space down here. A lot of times at work I feel like I'm running around in circles, and so I tried actually running around in circles, and it worked up there, and it was a lot of fun.
Walker.
It's been fun working with you here and showing you a little bit about what NASA does, and I hope that we have a great time. Hope that you have a good time too. It's been great talking to you.
All right, Marley, what was your favorite exhibit?
I liked the suffragette exhibit because I didn't realize how hard women's had to work for the vote.
Yeah, you've come a long way.
Yeah, it's really inspiring.
Our center also has exhibits of costumes of women suffragettes. And here's an exhibit of the equipment from the U.S. military field used by a Maryland female doctor in the 1980s.
All right, Grace, what about you?
Well, I just love the whole museum. I didn't realize how many women of Maryland impacted the state and the whole country and just history. It's just really eye-opening. I didn't realize how many women really worked for what they wanted and really went down in history.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
I have Miss Linda Lindsay with us today, and this is her program. So what did you think about it? How did it go?
Well, the purpose of our program was to recognize, honor, and appreciate women who either were in the service or did some help on the home front during World War II. It's very important to recognize these women and their contribution to our country at that time. And time is moving on, and many of the people who participated in the World War II era are leaving us. And so we wanted to make sure that we got their stories, told their stories, archived them, and had a venue where people could meet these women and understand exactly the huge contribution that they made to the war effort. We think the program went very well. We had over 100 people here, and people were just, what made the program was the women. The women who either worked as Rosie the Riveter or in the Red Cross or who were in one of the service branches, and telling their experiences and learning about the history of the women of that time. I think we accomplished our goal.
Okay. So do you have any advice for our teens that are watching as far as business-wise?
Well, I don't know about business-wise, but as far as this kind of a topic, which really deals with history, women's history for centuries really wasn't taught. People didn't know what women did because you would read the history books and you'd learn mostly what the men did. And so people thought women didn't do anything, and that's never been the case. And so my advice to young people is to find out about history. Even some people think history is boring. But if you learn the personal stories of someone that you can identify with, so if you're a young woman and you learn a story of a young woman who was about your age or had similar experiences, that'll help you understand exactly what was going on at that period of time, and it keeps it from being boring. So study history, find out what your history is, find out what your family's history is. And a lot of people go into that as a business then, you know, they study and they choose careers that will continue that.
Well, thank you, Miss Lindsay, for putting this program together and for joining our show today.
Welcome back to Teens Are Talking, Shantae Campbell. All right, well, I want to talk about what it is that you guys want to inspire to do. I know you were talking about you like science and you like space. So why don't each of you tell me what is it you aspire to do?
Well, I'm interested in acting and modeling, but also I want to go into environmental studies while I'm in college, because it's really important for us to have sustainable energy to satisfy everyone that lives on this earth, because we have a lot of people and everyone should have the simplest comforts in life, and the sad thing is that we don't, and our resources are depleting faster than we can replace them, and we need to find true sustainable resources so everyone can live a safe and comfortable life.
Wow, that's awesome. Grace, how are you?
Besides acting, I'm really interested in business. I want to eventually start my own business. I don't know what area yet. I think it's really inspiring and it's really humbling to start a business from the ground and build it up. It shows your hard work, and I really admire that. Yes. And I really admire people who start their own business and are successful.
Okay, so entrepreneurship, environmentalists. What about you, Kelly?
Well, my main interest is acting. You know, I always wanted to be an actor ever since I could walk or talk. And, you know, I'm in, you know, the running of, you know, becoming, you know, main actress, because for me, being an actor, I can express myself in any way I can. And I can even teach, you know, young people, you know, acting is like, you know, amazing to do. Because, like, you can outcome your shyness. You can, you know, explore the world with acting. You know, that's one of my big, you know, interests in life. This is what I want to become.
Great.
I'd like to keep going in this career, but if I can't, I don't really know what I want to do. I know I want to be rich, but that's pretty much my future.
You want to be rich, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, rich. All right, I can dig that. All right. Leo.
In a particular science field, I want to be a chemist. There's just so much that we don't know, and there's just so much out there that we still haven't discovered. And I think chemistry, we just mix so many elements together and discover something new, and there's always more and more to discover. And I think that's very interesting.
Besides acting, I want to inspire people to follow their dreams and keep their confidence, and to know that there's always something for them, and to never give up.
All right, so we've got a great panel of up-and-coming local Maryland women that are going to inspire the up-and-coming generation, with the exception of a young man who's going to be rich behind it. All right, well, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Wanted to be an explorer. I didn't know what an explorer was. I just knew that I wanted to study fish, and it was when I went to the old aquarium at Battery Park in New York, and I just thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could spend the rest of my life studying fish and actually go in the water with them and see them underwater, as I'd pretend I was underwater when I looked into the tank, especially the one with sharks. And I guess in order to do that, I would have to go out into the world and underwater, and I guess that was exploration, but I didn't call it that at that early age. And my parents would say, well, maybe you can study typing and how to be a good secretary, and you can become a secretary to somebody like William Beebe. That would be exciting, wouldn't it? And I said, no, I don't want to be anybody's secretary. I want to do that stuff myself. I want to be like William Beebe. No, well, I was brought up in an age where Jaws hadn't come out yet, and I didn't think of them as vicious animals, because they don't look like it when you watch them in an aquarium. They've got big teeth, but then so does your dog. My first encounter with a shark underwater was in the Palau Islands. I was swimming, and along came a great big shark, and I looked at it and it was just so beautiful and streamlined and didn't pay any attention to me. It just swam by and went down the reef. Maybe it was 7 feet long, maybe 8, but they look larger underwater. All things look about 1/3 larger. And I was a little startled, and then I was disappointed that it went away. And then later I learned to sort of crouch in the coral reef when the big shark was around if I wanted to get a good look. And I got once in the Red Sea, I saw this huge giant, the great hammerhead, coming along all by itself along the reef, and it was getting ready. So I just made myself part of the reef. I hugged him and it came right by like that, you know. I hated to see it go away. Maybe it's communication to people. I mean, you could sit in your ivory tower and do any kind of research you want, but if you don't communicate with your scientific colleagues and the local people, have to know what you're doing. And I guess that's what I'm so proud of, because Moat has developed into more than just an isolated little laboratory where people study fish, to a place where people can come and learn about fish, go visit the aquarium, and many of our scientists are lecturers. And I think it's important, since the local community supports us, that we give something in return. And that was Bill Moat's big thing. We have to give back from the sea. The fun that we have fishing, studying fish, or anything that lives in the sea, we can't just keep it to ourselves. We have to publish scientific papers, popular papers. I've enjoyed writing for National Geographic, although most of my work has been scientific papers that the average person doesn't read. And then giving lectures and interacting, and a place where children can come, schools can bring their classes. I think that's one of the most important things our laboratory does, and I'm very proud of, and I could have never handled it all in that small laboratory.
Welcome back to Teens Are Talking, and we're here at the Heritage Center, Maryland Heritage Center, and just talking about dreams and inspirations and so many things that people have gone through in the state of Maryland, women and men, that have inspired us, our generation. And it's good to see that you guys were inspired by these exhibits, and that you guys have big dreams as well, because we have kids that are coming right up behind you guys, and we need more people like the exhibits that we have here to inspire other people to continue. So any last thoughts you guys have on it?
I think this is a wonderful place to find inspiration, to know that you can do whatever you want in your respected field, no matter who you are, race, gender, age, no matter what.
Right. Women have faced so much adversity in the last hundreds of years, and this place really shows how they overcame it.
And words of Marley. All right, well, thanks for talking with us at Teens Are Talking. Make sure you join us next time, and make sure you come down and visit the Maryland Women's Heritage Center. So we'll see you next time.
Bye.